Okay, I am officially recording, and we're going to be making our husky. So good morning, everyone. So just pin my screen with the white sheet of paper for a moment. Does everyone have their pencil ready? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Just want to make sure. Okay, awesome. Diego and Adriana, you guys are ready? I haven't heard from you guys. Okay, cool. They gave me a thumbs up. I got Maya here with me this morning. All right, so I'll just show you what we're making. I know I sent you guys a picture. Here's our husky. All right, so we're gonna come back to this paper. What we're gonna be doing is starting, whoops, sorry, I'm holding my camera here. We're gonna be starting around halfway through the paper, and just watch me first. We'll be making diagonal line. The ear is rounded and kind of long. Okay, almost looks like a fishing hook. And give me a thumbs up once you have that. I know there's one or two friends that can't make the new time, so I'll send them the video after. My older daughter has gymnastics camp now, and it starts at 9:30. So, and it, like, the times are a little crazy, so I was trying to fit everything in. Okay, everyone ready to move on? Give me a thumbs up so I know. Violet, you ready? Okay, so we're just gonna make our little connection here. I'm making my other ear. We're working on a little bit of an angle. Show you what I'm talking about. So this line's gonna come towards the bottom of your picture. So don't let it go all the way to the bottom. You're leaving a little bit of space. Just let me know when you have that. Awesome. Just looking around. And I'll show you what we're gonna do to finish our face. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have a line that goes diagonally this way. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay. And there's gonna be another line like that. So his face is actually too big for our paper. So his whole face is not in the paper. I'll show you another thing. We have that line. It's gonna be kind of like his shoulder. Sorry, I know we're a little blurry. And just give me a thumbs up once you have it. Maya sure is talkative. Okay. Next thing we're going to be doing is working on our mouth. Okay. The mouth is going to go almost parallel to this line here. So again, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's start it right about here and just watch me first. It's going to go towards the bottom of the picture. Almost looks like a happy face right now. And again, I know there's a whole lot of trust involved here. Right now you're looking at it and you're saying to yourself, how is this going to come out looking like something that's good? And how on earth is it going to come out looking like a husky? You just got to trust.
Maya.
Hang on, I'm just gonna put this down for a second. I'm gonna go check on my child. We're in our bedroom. I thought this would be a better space, but maybe it's not. As you know, I do a lot of trial and error every week with you guys. Hang on.
Oh, you don't like me talking to other kids? You don't like me talking to other kids, but you don't make me about you? Yes, you don't make me about you. You're so tired. You should take a nap.
Okay. Bam, I'm back. All right. Anyone ready to move on? Give me that thumbs up so I know. Okay, we're gonna draw his nose next. I'm just gonna pull my little paper closer to me. Okay. So the nose is pretty close to the mouth. And just, again, watch me here. This is a very different kind of shape that I just made. Almost looks like a piggy nose right now. We're gonna correct all that once we start painting. We're gonna do a lot of shading this week. We're gonna be working painterly again. We've been doing a lot of painterly techniques in our paintings each week. I know it looks a little piggy. We can always correct the shape once we're painting too. You know that we can paint out these lines. And just give me that thumbs up so I know. It's going to show you the direction. So this line we are going to paint out. It goes kind of parallel over here. That's going to be a line that we paint out later, but it's just showing the general direction that our face is going to be going in. So it's all just to kind of help us. All right. So the eye, that one eye that goes like this. And then the other eye is basically parallel to it, but don't forget we're on an angle. And again, we are going to be painting out most of this. You're not going to see a lot of this. And he's got kind of like a widow's peak going on, kind of like the Munsters, like Eddie Munster. And I know I'm talking about something you guys probably don't know about. I have a feeling Violet knows about the Munsters. Do you? No. It's like a cool Gothic show from like when my parents were little. Okay, it's starting to look like something, isn't it? Still not great. We're not going for great right now. We're just going for our outline. Yours doesn't have to look perfect in any way. This is all just to help us later. You're not going to see any of these lines. Look, I have a smear here. You're not going to see it. So don't worry. I'm just kind of outlining the ears. I know I'm working a little fast too. When it comes to the mouth, I know I'm kind of working fast and I'm all over the place, but Don't worry if you're having trouble keeping up. I'm going to keep the camera on this for a while so you guys can see. That's a tooth there. That was a little mouth. That's about where we're at. These are just some little highlights that we're going to be painting in later. There's also some stuff down here. So you can see it's starting to look like a husky. To me it is anyway. Now I just put mine in gallery view. Does it change yours too? Or is the pin screen still pinned on yours? It's still the white screen. And it also shows up differently for my friends at home who are doing this, who are watching the video later. I'm just checking in. How are my friends Ben and Nico doing? I also know that there's a little shadow on here. Let's see what happens if I close my window. Oh no, that makes the shadow worse. There's always something, isn't it? Isn't there? Give you guys some time here. It's up to you if you want to Sharpie your lines. I'm going to put my camera down for a second. Having trouble fitting it all on the screen. I'm here, I'm just gathering up some supplies that I'll tell you about in a minute. I'm setting up my paints. Ignore me. I'll do this with you in a few minutes. I just want to set mine up. All right. Just checking in. So, how's everyone doing? Is anyone completely done with their drawing? Give me a thumbs up if you are. You know what I'd like to do? I'd love to see where your drawings are at, just to see. So if you don't mind showing me, Diego and Adriana, if you're able and you'd like to, no pressure. Adriana. All right, looking good. Diego with you? Oh, good, Vivian. No Diego today? No, okay. And what about Ben and Nico? Looking great. Awesome. And Violet, you want to show me real quick? Want to kind of check out where you're at? Looking great. Awesome. So don't worry about doing too much sharpieing. We're really going to be painting over most of these lines anyway. You can if you'd like to. I'm going to start showing you guys our paint setup. Okay? So I already put mine out. I'm going to talk about what colors are here. I know it's hard to see, and I know you see a shadow, and unfortunately I can't help it. It's just the lighting of my room here. Actually, I might be able to plug in my little lamp. Let me see if that helps. Hang on, give me 1 second. It'll be right there. I do have a little tiny table desk lamp. This is a different space again. I keep trying out new spaces to see which one will be best. As you know, virtual teaching is newish to me too. I've only been doing it since the winter, or even the spring, I should say. So I'm always learning new things, and I'm always getting better in different ways. And I know you guys are too. I know when we first started virtual learning, a lot of students were very nervous. It's just a whole different way of teaching and learning. So it's a lot of that. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if this does anything if I have my little lamp on. That's better. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys my colors. So, sorry, I know my lamp's in the way. Basically, you guys know me. I like to set up in a circle. In the center are white and black, okay? And then around it, I have yellow. There's some blue. We've got green. I put a tiny bit of purple. You don't need much. And some red. So basically your primary and secondary colors, with the exception of orange. You don't need orange this week. If you don't have all these colors, you can always just put out your primary colors or whatever you have. We're going to be doing color mixing as usual. So don't worry. I'll guide you through mixing all the colors that we need. I'm actually going to shut my door so that the crazy cats don't come in. Actually, one's here. She's just laying on the bed. See her? She's black. That's my Rosie cat. She's not bothering anyone. She's taking her day nap. I'll leave her. All right. So I'm looking around, checking in. How's everyone doing with their paint, putting out paint? Give me a thumbs up if you're good. Diego and Adriana, how are you guys doing? I don't want to move too fast for you. Cool. Yeah, so I know that we missed last week. I did send you guys the video. You can do that anytime at your leisure. So anytime you have some time, it could be a fun weekend project. I haven't received an email from anyone with it, so I don't think anyone did it, but maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to see your finished work. So please do send it to me if you did finish it, and I'll feature you. Okay. So We're going to be starting with our background color. Hang on. A very bad kitty cat just walked in. Snowy. Snowy cat. He's so snowy. I got to move him out of here. He's going to be really bad in a second. Hang on. Hi. This is my dad boy. I love him. Say hi. Hello. It's Snowy. Rosie's being very cute. She's just sleeping. Okay. There I am. I'm with you. It's got so many wires here. I'm trying to just fit everything. And challenge. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to come back and I'm going to pin my screen again. Okay. So first color that we're going to be mixing is a turquoise. I'll show it to you on here. We're going to be doing the background. I'm going to show you all these cool painterly details. Okay. So you're going to want to use a bigger brush. And what we're going to do, I don't like that brush. It's a little bit dried out, so I'm going to use a different brush. So I'm going to take a big scoop of blue. This is like a separate pile I'm making. Equal parts green, should be kind of a turquoise, and a big scoop of white. Don't be afraid to take too much white. We can always put out more white. You want to mix it thoroughly. I'm actually also going to take a little tiny bit of yellow, just the smallest amount. It's just going to brighten it up a little bit. So I'm making a big turquoise pile. And we're going to be working real thick. Playing, having fun. Very painterly this week. Okay. So basically what I'm going to do to start, you want to work real thick. Don't worry if your paint's so thick that it won't dry until the next century. It's okay. We're working thick this week. We're going to be painting our entire background. I'm working extremely thick. It's almost like I'm putting icing on a cake. That's how thick I'm working. So I'm not using very much water to dilute. If I run out of color, I'll mix more. Take your time. No need to keep up. But you do want it really thick because with our painterly technique, we're going to be mixing in colors, but if this has to stay pretty wet. If we try to mix in colors and it's dry, it's not going to work as well. So we want to work real thick. This is a fun, different way of painting. I'd love to hear from you guys what your favorite way of painting is. We're painting pretty different in the beginning of the course. I do change it up from week to week. Sometimes we use the paint in a different way where we go and we outline everything with our Sharpie and there's more detail. And then there's this way, which is more painterly. So I'm using my little thin brush, adding a little bit of water, and I'm going to go up to my edge. It's okay if some areas are lighter and some areas are darker. Quite all right. That variation is fun and make your picture more interesting too. This part up here, that's a glare. I didn't add any white or anything because I have my little lamp on our picture. Trying to make sure my lighting is adequate for you guys. So the ears are a little pointier than I made them. So I've actually just been fixing that with the painting portion here. So everything's very thick. I'm going to check in with you guys in a minute. So you can also correct the shape of the ears. If they came out too rounded, you can fix it. Gonna check in, see how my friends are doing. Trying to crack my neck a little bit. Anyone want to just point your camera down just so I can check you out, see how you're doing? I like how everyone's colors are coming out different. Oh, nice. Very nice, Adriana. Okay. How you doing, Violet? Okay. And Vivian, how are you? Awesome. You know, if I were you, Vivian, I would actually just paint that top quadrant. I would just paint it blue instead of chopping it. I think it'll look nice. And I like when everyone's pictures come out a little different from each other. I appreciate that. Ben and Nico, can you guys show me just where you're at really quick? Awesome. Great. Okay, we'll be moving on in just a second. I'm gonna give you guys another minute or two before I show you things. All right, so your painting is still wet. I'm gonna show you guys how to mix a nice pink. We're gonna be using this pink a bunch in this picture. So we're gonna make a pile of it because we're gonna need it a lot. Basically, we're gonna pre-mix our colors, or we'll mix them as we need them. So I'm just getting rid of all the paint on my brush here, cleaning my brush. I haven't done anything yet. I know I'm not holding my camera yet. Okay, just cleaning off my brush, getting all of the junk out of it. My little brush, I'm gonna drop it in there. Okay, for our pink, it's mostly white with a touch of red. A little bit more red. You're better off using less red and then adding more in as you need. I'm also gonna put a touch of yellow. Just a touch. Maybe a little bit more red. Okay. I'm looking at it compared to my picture over here. Let me show you what I do. So that's how I kind of figure out our colors a lot of times. I'll hold up my paintbrush right up to the screen just to make sure. Okay, so basically there's a little tiny bit of peekaboo pink that kind of comes out up in the top of our picture here. If you want to, you can blend out the edges, or you can just leave it very stark and bright. Hi. So I just put my little peekaboo pink there. So this picture is going to be extremely playful. I'll warn you now. A lot of playing that's going to be happening. That was my peekaboo pink. So I'm actually going to also dip now in my straight white here. And I know you probably aren't up to this, but if you are, you can follow along. If not, I'll just give you time. So I just dipped in my white. There's also quite a few areas that have just some white. There's a bit around his ear over here. So I just mix that in, turns into light blue because it mixed. That's what I wanted. So just be playful, see how the color comes out when you go to use it. Again, there's a very good chance you're going to need to pour out more white. We're probably going to run out. Just a sign of a good painting day. So you see I added some white. There's no white here. That's just a glare. I'm sorry about the glare. Let's see. I wish there was a way to fix that. Let's see. Because I know the glare can be confusing. Okay, I moved my lamp. Okay, so also a little bit of white. Kind of goes like this. Play with adding a little bit of white to certain areas in your background here. Putting a little bit more of my green again. Be playful. See how fun it is to mix colors this way. Just experience the thickness, the viscosity of your paint. Having fun is the most important thing. Just being playful again. I added a little tiny bit of lighter blue. I have this lighter blue on my brush that happened magically from mixing this area over here. So the color that was left on my brush came out lighter. I'm going to check in with you guys in a second. Your picture can look very different than mine. It's no problem. I welcome the diversity in our final outcomes. If they all came out the same, what kind of boring world would that be? So let your artistic voice shine here. Believe it or not, this is my hour and a half of creativity for the week too. I usually am painting a lot more, but it's been a busy summer. All spring, I was doing something called plein air painting. I'm really a painter. So I will bring my palette and my canvas and I set up outside. And I like to do seascapes, but it can be a challenge because I do have my 2 kids and they need my attention all the time. So most of the time it means someone has to watch my kids or they come along with me and I'm super distracted. So, you know, I'm not in the most productive time of my life right now. I wish I had more time to be creative and I know it'll come back. I'll have time again when my kids are older. But in general, I do try to paint a lot. And you should too, as much as you can, because I know you guys are all artists. Okay, I'm just going to put this down. This is my little pep talk of the day. Checking in. Anyone want to show me? I'd love to just see where you guys are at. I know you guys know this, but you can unmute yourself anytime and chat with me too. Ben and Nico, you guys there? I think they took a break. How are you, Vivian? Good. Violet, can you show me your whole picture really quick? Just want to gauge where you're at. Awesome. Yeah, if you just want to pull it away a little bit. Perfect. All right. How about Adriana? Love to just see where you're at, Adriana, if you're able to show me. Perfect. Okay. Pretty soon we're going to move along. We're going to start working on our dog. But I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. All right. So if you're ready to move on, why don't you give me a thumbs up so I know? I think Ben and Nico are. Okay, Vivian, you're good. I don't want to move too far ahead. How about Adriana? Okay. All right. Our next color that we're going to be using is our black. Okay. So I'm going to be using a thin brush for this part. I'll just show you. I'm cleaning my brush off. Just went and cleaned. Okay. Dipping in my black. And here I am. This is definitely a fun part. We're going to be painting basically inside these shapes. We kind of already laid out our outline. It's a little bit paint by numbersy now. We did our blueprints. That's always the most important part. Blueprints are planning. So just like a builder uses blueprints, we use blueprints too. Got the flap around his mouth. I think his mouth looks a little bit like the Joker. So this part here, that's going to be a white tooth. I'm going to leave that alone. Gets real skinny here. If you make any little mistakes, don't worry about it, because we can use the paint to cover up our mistakes. You guys know I'm big on that because I always make mistakes. And I say there's no such thing as mistakes in art. There's only happy accidents. Don't worry about them. Art shouldn't be a stressful experience. It should be fun. So I'm not going to paint in my whole nose. Kind of maybe just watch along with what I do with my nose here. I'm actually going to go out of the shape a little bit. I'm just following along with my picture here. There's a little dot right there. I know I went outside the shape. I definitely know it looks like a pile of smush mishmash right now. Don't worry. This is where that faith and that trust kind of comes in. Faith in me as your guide, that I'm going to take you there. And I'll make sure our pictures come out awesome. They definitely will. Just following along my outline. There's a good chance that yours is going to look pretty different than mine. Don't worry about it. Whoops. I dropped a glob of paint. Oopsie doopsies. Show you what I do for that. Actually, I'm going to use it. It kind of landed right in the right spot where I was going to need some black anyway. Otherwise, I would have wiped it up, but definitely didn't have to. So I'm using my thinner brush. You can use whichever brush seems most appropriate. I'll let you guys decide. Guys are becoming experienced before my eyes, so I'll let you guys decide the best brush for what you're doing. But I'll always give you recommendations. Art is a place where there is no wrong. Always remember that. There's no wrong. It's not like music where it can sound off. It's literally a place where whatever you do is right, which is neat. If you think of real abstract art, it's out there. I don't know if anyone's ever been to the Museum of Modern Art. It's also called MoMA, my absolute favorite museum in the city. Also the Guggenheim. They feature a lot of modern art. Sometimes modern art can be a big square that's painted in one color that looks to me like my 4-year-old could do it. But it has more to do with the artist's statement, like what the artist says about the art, what the art means to the artist. A lot of times conceptual art or modern art is about a cause. So it might be about current events in some way, shape, or form. But it's up to the artist to justify, why they've chosen to do this or to do that. So that's what actually makes that kind of art great. Definitely starting to look like a husky, I think. I'm going to check in with you guys in a minute or two. I'm just going to do my black outline first. Got some outline in her arm. I'm going to try to do all my black. Good chance we're going to end up painting out portions of it too. So it looks like he's wearing eyeliner a little bit. I'm going to use a bigger brush here. This is a bigger area, so I can use a bigger brush. Again, very good chance I'm going to paint right over some of what I did. I'm just kind of blotting it in. I'm going to check in. This is what I'm up to. You know what I'll also do before I move on? What I do is his pupils. This way they're there. I don't have to think about it. It's there. There you go. And they're certainly not perfect. We're going to improve the shape later. So this is where I'm at. And let me come around and check in with you guys. Anyone want to show me where they're at? You guys all look real busy. I'm gonna take a screenshot. Send it up. Sometimes I like to take shots of like my in progress work because it's fun to do. Get her all in the picture. Violet, Jackie enjoys playing with your Vampirina, or is it Monster High? It's your old dollhouse. I have it in my living room. My kids love it. Baby likes it too. Thank you for that. Violet, can I see your picture really quick? I want to show everyone. Ooh, that's looking fantastic. Very good job. Cool. All right. And Ben and Nico, how about you guys? Can you guys show me where you're at? That's looking fantastic. Love them. They got so much expression, so much personality. Those are really great. Vivian, up to you. I'd love to show what you're up to as well. How about Adriana? All right. They don't want to show me. It's okay. All right. So if you're done with your black, can you give me a thumbs up, please? Do I know? Okay, Vivian, yes. Violet, yes. How about Ben and Nico? Somewhat. I'll give you another minute. All right, Adriana, how about you? Not yet. Okay, give you some time. That's all right. You know what, guys? I'm gonna give myself a minute. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go grab myself a glass of water. It'll be 1 minute. Okay. It's gonna run downstairs. That's not white over here. That's just the glare again. Got a lot of glare this week. Okay, I'm checking in again. I just grabbed some water for myself. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on, please. Okay, looks like everyone is. How about you, Violet? You good? Ben and Nico are good? Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna bring up my picture again. All right. So I'm gonna use a bigger brush here. I'm just cleaning my brush off. Show you what we're gonna do. So what I'm gonna do, I have this green that I mixed earlier. Looks like the background green. We're gonna use that. Okay. I'm gonna put a couple areas of green around. We're probably gonna keep coming back to our green too. Just trust me here. This isn't how it's gonna look at the end. We're just putting in a couple of things to prepare us. So basically we're gonna be seeing this color underneath what it is we're doing. So don't worry. I know you're saying to yourself, how does this fit in this painting? I don't get it. You'll get it soon. I'm gonna actually mix a little more. Actually, the color I'm mixing is a little bit more blue. Whatever, I'm gonna keep it. Yours can be the same color you used before. Could be a new blue that you mix, whatever you want. There's no wrong. Let's just have some fun. I'm working pretty thick. Just being playful. We're gonna be filling in all these spots. There won't be any white spots left at the end. I'm putting this here so that it naturally mixes with our white. So our white's gonna have a bit of blue undertone to it. That's kind of what we're going for here. Again, just follow with me step by step. Good chance I'm gonna redo some of my black. Good chance you will too. You'll see. there's going to be a lot of opportunities for fixing up towards the end. Okay, so this is maybe a quicker part, being a little bit haphazard. I have this blue that I mixed. I feel like it would be cool to put a touch of it in the background. You don't have to. I just feel like it. So I'm gonna. Your picture is for you, mine's for me. So if you feel like doing something, you can. So again, we're working with these kind of big strokes. They're definitely very sloppy. Don't worry about neatness right now. We're gonna clean this up later. It will come together, trust me. Okay. I'm gonna take a look at what my friends are up to. Actually, I'm gonna take a picture right here. You guys know me, I like to take a lot of screenshots. It's fun for me. Okay, I'm just looking in. Violet, looks like you have your own personal art room in your house. Am I wrong? You're in your living room? And Ben and Nico, you guys have a great setup as well. Nice tablecloth. Can I check and see? You guys want to point your camera down really quick? Sweet. Awesome. Looking real good. Okay. Oh, Violet. I'm looking at yours. Amazing. So good. Doing amazing. Fantastic. Vivian, you wanted to show me? Sweet. Perfect. Look at that. We're going to be ready to move on in a minute. This part is quicker. It's a little bit haphazard, like I was saying. Doesn't need to be perfect. Doesn't need to be neat. We're going to neaten everything up later, promise. Diego and Adriana. Or I'm sorry, just Adriana. It says Diego there too. That's why I keep saying Diego. But curious to just maybe see where you're at if you want to show me. Okay. I'm gonna pin ya. All right. Okay. So you have a bit of work to do around your face. That's okay. And again, that's also what we use the video for later on. I know it takes me a while to get to the videos. Sometimes they take a long time to upload, depending on the power of my internet that day, and it's always different. I can never rely on it. But that's a way to use our video, is to rewind, fast forward, all that good stuff. Okay, and it'll help you work at your own pace. In our live class, I'm restrained to an hour and a half. I have to fit everything in, which means that sometimes I am working a little faster. So it doesn't mean that you have to. You don't have to keep up with me. Okay, I am gonna move on in like a second. Can you guys just give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on so I know? How you doing, Violet? All right. Adrienne, I am gonna move on. But again, it's the kind of thing where you don't have to keep up with me. You just finish in your own time. And again, make sure you guys send me your videos because I love to feature you guys. Okay, I'm pulling up my picture. All right. So I have my paintbrush from before, same size. It's like that medium brush. I'm just washing it off, getting some of the blue paint out. It's okay if there's still a little bit of blue in there. What's going to happen is this is going to mix a little bit with the white that we're going to put on. So it's okay if your brush is slightly dirty. It's not a big deal. I'm going to grab my scoop of white. So yeah, the blue's mixing in. I basically just mixed it anyway. You know what? I'm going to actually pour out some more white really quick. Give me a second. It's so hard with this camera too. The tripod is what I'm having trouble with all the time. Okay, I just poured out another squeeze of white here. Okay, so I'm going to add more white to this. So basically, I'm mixing like a very pale blue, extremely pale blue. It almost looks white. Can't even really tell it's a blue. So it's a very, very, very pale light blue. Put a little water in there so I can mix with it. Okay. And this is a fun part. Oops, sorry guys, I know I lost you there. So again, I'm working really super thick. We're gonna put the details later. Details are gonna be things like fur. We'll do it later. It's gonna go up in the eye. We're basically gonna be filling in the rest of our picture for the most part with this very, very, very pale blue that we mixed. So I'm using my thickest brush. Again, I am just gonna fill in the rest of my white areas with this color. There's other colors we're also gonna be adding in later, but we're just filling in right now. A lot more is gonna happen in this picture pretty quickly. Don't do the nose. Leave the nose blank. Also, don't do the tongue. So the nose and the tongue, also the eyes, you can just leave those alone right now. So this is pretty quick, just filling in almost all of my white areas with this very pale blue that I mixed. And I'm using a thick brush. And again, it's okay if it's thick and feels a little sloppy. It's really not sloppy. We're working painterly. It's a different way of painting, that's all. And it's fun. Hopefully you guys find it fun. Okay. I'm going to start working a little bit faster because we have 20 minutes left. So I just want to make sure that we, finish on time. But I will continuously check in. You guys know, sometimes it's a scramble at the end. That's where I'm at so far. So I'm going to mix a light blue for the eyes. I just took a little tiny bit of blue, a little bit of white. It's going to be darker than the blue that we were just using. And he's a very cute husky. Sorry, I wasn't focusing on what I was doing. I had the camera pointed in the wrong spot. Just did one eye. And I'm doing the other. So this kind of picture, the original artist did something called using a color scheme. So he probably made this from a photograph, but he decided his colors would be these cool greens, pinks, blues. So that was his artistic voice. I'm going to take another screenshot. Just documenting my process. It's fun. Okay, I'm looking around. Ben and Nico, you guys want to show me where you're at real quick? Awesome. Perfect. You're keeping right up. Perfect. Love it. Vivian, you want to show me really quick? Sweet. Perfect. Okay. And Violet, just want to check in, see where you're at. If you just want to point your camera. Great. Okay. And Adriana, I know you're working at your own pace. It's completely up to you if you want to show me or not. No pressure. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be mixing another blue. I'm just grabbing the right brush here. I have a couple different brushes. These are really looking great though. I'm sorry, I'm just pulling up my picture. Okay. So I'm going to take a scoop of my blue, take a little bit of black. I'm going to do mixy mix. Maybe a little bit more blue than that. It came out really dark. I'm going to put a smidge of white in there. So it's coming out like a gray blue, like a dark gray blue. I'll just show you the color. So this is I know it's hard to see. This is black over here. That's my dark gray blue. Maybe I'll put a slight bit more white in there. Okay. So dark gray blue is what we're working with next. This is where we're going to start adding some fun variation. Okay. So we're going to be painting right over some of what we did before. I'll put a little bit right in here. Still working kind of painterly. Gonna put a little bit over here. Very playful. Put a bit over here. So what we're doing is something called adding variation. I'm gonna put a bit up here. And you'll see your picture start to come together before your eyes. Bit over here. Okay. He's got a bit, it could be a she. I keep saying he. Got a bit over here. It's up to you if he's a she or a he. Whatever you want. Okay. Now, on the nose, this might be a little bit more of an important part. Watch what I do here. Made like a little line. This is kind of making the shape of the nose. So it doesn't just look like a floating shape. Now it has a shape. And I know we haven't painted inside the nose yet, so the nose still doesn't look right, but it will. Again, trust me. You guys are doing so well, especially with trusting me too with these painterly paintings. Next week's our last week. I'd love to hear from you. If you have a preference for an animal that we haven't made yet, you can feel welcome to email me. You don't have to tell me now. Just email me later. Say, hey, Miss Michelle, I'd really be interested in making a turtle or whatever. And you can tell me if you're enjoying the painterly style or not. I'd love to know. A little bit more here. It's looking almost like a little tribal. Very playful. Okay, I'm gonna take another screenshot. I'm gonna document my process here. Wish there wasn't so much glare in our picture. Okay. So next thing I'm gonna be doing is making some pink. And then after this part, it's gonna be all about cleaning it up. So this is pretty much the last color that we're making. I told you guys to put out a little bit of purple. Take some purple. Take some red. It's gonna be like a reddy purple. Little bit of yellow. Some white, good amount of white actually. Here we go. That's actually perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some of the pink in his ear. You know, I'm actually even gonna make my pink a little bit lighter. I'm adding some white to it. It's fine that that one's darker. That stroke I just made was darker. It's no problem. So this is definitely a part where your artistic voice is coming in. Doing his nose now. Basically just filling it in. The nostrils are gonna be black. So we'll go back later and do that. A little bit of black just mixed in because the black on my picture was still wet. It's not a problem. This is gonna be an area that I clean up in a little while. So it's okay if it still looks a little chunky and a little bit sloppy. We will be fixing it. We had so much thunder last night. I thought it was going to be a lousy day. Looks like it's shaping up. I don't know about you, but I was awoken about 5 in the morning by some serious thunder. So we're basically reaching the end. We're going to be doing nothing but touching up from this point on. All right. So what's going to happen is I'm going to add a couple areas of straight white. So I still have some straight white on my palette here. So there's a few areas that are like a straight white. Just going to add those in right now. Oh, sorry, my picture turned. I'm holding my camera the same way. I don't know why it flipped it. My camera seems to have a mind of its own sometimes. So it's cool if your colors mix a little bit. That's what's going to make your picture really interesting. Going to add some straight white down here. I'm going to put some more white on my palette. Hang on, you friends. I hope you're happy with how your picture's coming out. I'm pretty happy with mine. There's definitely a couple areas that I need to work on, and that's going to be my job right now. So I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush pretty much from here on out. So going in my straight white here, that's the plain white. All right, I'm going to be making strokes for things like fur. I'm also going to put a little white in his eye or her eye. What Maya just woke up. Maya's been here this whole time with me, but she's been napping. I'm going pretty thick. Putting some down here too. And I'm going to play with the stroke, pull it out a little tiny bit, make it look like it's fur. I know my hand's in the way. I forgot to paint in his tooth. I'm going to paint his tooth in. Paint his other tooth. Sorry that my hand is in the way. Okay, so this is a part where I'm going to start adding a few more details. I'm going to go back to my black. I think I have to put out more black too. This is a part where we're just kind of neatening up a little bit. And just doing a couple finishing details. My picture is on its side for some reason. All right, I'm going to fix the outline in his eye. Got a little bit lost. So this is, again, that part where you can go back in and fix it up. And make it your own, of course. It's important. I'm gonna make his pupils a little bit larger, but I don't want to lose that little dot that I put in his eye. Here he is. I just added a little bit of black over here. Wherever you feel that you need it. So I just mixed in a little bit of black here. It turned a little bit on the gray side. Okay, so I'm gonna fix up his nose a little bit. Nose needs work. He also needs some nostrils. We completely forgot about his nostrils. Don't know how that happened, but it did. Yeah, just fixing up his nose. Redoing some of my lines here. We're almost done, like another minute. Gonna fix up his mouth. Okay, I'm up here towards the top. Putting a little bit more line in his ears. This is the part where you can get really into all your detail stuff. Really play. I'm gonna put a little bit of black around here. You know, I'm on my side, I'm sorry. We're putting a little bit of gray around here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I just mixed a little bit of gray, black and white. So just adding shades of the different colors that we mixed today. Putting a little bit of gray down here. Maybe I'll put a little bit around here. Let's put a little bit there. So I just need some areas of gray. And there might be one or two more spots that can use some straight white. Yep, so I'm just adding my last details. Care for the brush I'm using. I use this brush. That brush was a little stiff. I always have like 7 brushes, even though we really don't use that many in our class. I just like to have more brushes handy. That's just my preference. Almost done. Adding a little bit more white highlights around this region. All right. So I'm just going to check in with you guys. Maybe we can do a group screenshot. Doesn't matter, you know, where you're at, how finished you are. Just want to see where you are. Awesome. Where's your brother? Okay. Oh, hang on a second. So we're going to do our screenshot in like 5 seconds. So Vivian and Adriana, if you'd like to join us, you can. Otherwise, I'll leave you guys out. Okay, 5, 4, 3. Oh, awesome. Diego, you've been here this whole time? That's awesome. How about Vivian? Can I get you, Vivian? Hang on, I didn't take it yet. All right, no Vivian. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hang on, stay. I'm gonna do one more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, guys. So we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to email me your pictures. I'd love to see your finished projects. It's important to me to see how you guys are doing, and I'd love to feature you. Next week is our last week, 10:30 again, next Wednesday. And tell me what you'd like to make. I like to do it as like your pick next week. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. All right, so long. See you next week. Bye.